Majestic, Marie, and Laura. Got the wrestling world right here, no need to go far. All girls podcast, bringing vibes so grand. Talking power bombs and peaches, we've got the upper hand. With a smile, positivity, and tales of the ring. From Eddie Kingston's moves to each title swing, we're here to cheer, laugh, and maybe even cry. Join us on this ride, let's kiss that heel goodbye. Peaches and power bombs, let's start the show, where legends come to dance and superstars glow. Listeners, come closer, hear the stories flow. With Majestic, Marie, and Laura, watch your fandom grow. Every episode's a celebration, moments that we hold. No storyline too big, no champion too bold. For the love of the sport, for each crowd's thunder, wrestling's in our hearts, ever full of wonder. Every episode's a celebration, moments that we hold. No storyline too big, no champion too bold. For the love of the sport, for each crowd's thunder, wrestling's in our hearts, ever full of wonder. So raise your signs high as we speak the truth of epic rivalries and glory of youth. From Eddie's grip to the Diva's reign, in every bout there's joy amidst the pain. Oh, peaches and power bombs, let's start the show, where legends come to dance and superstars glow. Listeners, come closer, hear the stories flow. With Majestic, Marie, and Laura, watch your fandom grow. Watch your fandom grow.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs. I'm Majestic Marie, alongside Laura Presley, and we have a special guest with us, Mr. Wade from Ringscoops. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate y'all inviting me on the show.
Absolutely. Been meaning to have you back on for a while, and then we thought we weren't going to have a show tonight, but we were both able to do 2 shows today, so we're back with the second round, and we're ready to go. So,
Woohoo! Yeah, a little bit of sickness brain and miscommunication. So we double booked the day, and we were like, oh, well, I guess we're doing 2 shows today, and we'll have a good time doing so.
A great 2 for Tuesday.
Yeah,
exactly. That kind of worked out. Wait, in case anybody that's watching us doesn't know, we'll tell all the you go ahead and tell the sweet peaches all about yourself and what you do.
Well, my name is Wade. I talk wrestling, and that's the name of the game right there. Ringscoops just recently celebrated the 25th anniversary of Ringscoops back on the 12th. So
okay,
that's quite a feat. I feel bad because my schedule's so busy. I didn't have time to plan a celebration for it like I did the 20th when we all went to Las Vegas. But things, a lot different now when it comes to creating wrestling content. Like back in the days to just do typical podcasts, whatnot. Nowadays it's more academic. I do a lot of research papers and submit to conferences and do presentations and whatnot. I'm currently working on my thesis for my master's about misogyny and sexual misconduct in professional wrestling. So stay on the lookout for that coming out sometime next year. And it's going to be a very foundation shaking paper, and hopefully we're going to make a change in the professional wrestling business.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. I've been fortunate enough to read some of Wade's stuff, and he's really good at what he
Thank you.
does, and um, I think your passion really is exemplified in what you write about, especially when it's college papers and stuff. So I commend you for that. Really, I do.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you. Thank you so much.
such an important and heavy topic as misogyny in pro wrestling, because even though we're not in the business, being women, just in the bubble, um, we have come across some of that misogyny ourselves in a small way. Not compared to the women who are actually in the business, but in a small way. We've encountered that ourselves, and it's overwhelming and a shame that that still goes on today. Although there's been improvements, but there's still a long way to go. So thank
Oh
you
yeah, we
so
have
much for
a
doing
lot of.
that.
Oh, don't have to thank me. This is equally as important, no matter what level, whether it's fandom, workers in the business, or anything like that. It across the board to me, it's equally as important that we make a change and foster a safe working environment for everyone that's in the industry. On both sides, media and performance.
Absolutely. Uh, Julian's with us. Hello, Julian.
Hey, Julian, how you doing? He's one of my great friends.
Well, guys, we'll go ahead and get into the business side of stuff. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to Peaches and Power Bombs, do all the things, and make sure you go and give Ringscoops a like and a follow as well. And before we get into the show, we always have the Briscoe brothers get us hyped up. Although our new song is pretty gets us hyped too, but it
Makes you
wouldn't
do
be
the
Peaches.
Carlton and all.
I know, right? Both Alora and Wade was kind of doing this, so it was fun,
I felt like I was on Main Street in Disneyland. I want
right?
some caramel corn now.
Right.
Heck
I
yeah.
wanted to make it a gypsy jazz song, and I don't think it disappointed. So it was pretty fun. But without further ado, here's the Briscoe brothers.
Ain't no way, chick. Ain't ready. There ain't no way, man. Ain't ready. Ain't no way y'all could possibly be ready. You can say you're ready as many times as you want. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Y'all boys ain't ready. There's no way, man. Talking about they anxious. You hear him, chick? Hey. Somebody losing sleep. They losing sleep, baby. Man, I've been getting the best sleep of my life. I've been snoring, baby. Snoring. I've been snoring. Dreaming about this ass.
That never gets old. That never gets old.
That's like the perfect opening to the show, like next to the song.
Yeah.
Gets everybody going. And
Absolutely.
so, we'll go. Whoops. What did I do here? Oh, go to a couple of comments right quick, and then we'll move along. Jeffrey is back with us. He was hanging out with us this afternoon. Good to see you again. And Julian said he's been hurting. How are y'all doing? I'm sorry that you're hurting. We're doing it to it. So
Hanging in there. Well, we're here to talk about the Elimination Chamber because it is this Saturday. And I mean, this comment, I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but this pay-per-view does not have a title defense on it at all. So what do you guys think about that?
we'll start with Wade.
It's interesting. I didn't realize it either until you pointed it out. It's I can't remember the last time, if ever, that they've had a pay-per-view like this that didn't have a big title match or any kind of title match, really.
I've been seeing it a lot more in recent years. But we're getting close to WrestleMania as is. I know used to, you would think there was slim possibility that the champion going from the Rumble to Mania, they're going to hold the title no matter what. But there's been a few exceptions, like for example Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar. that's not to say it can't happen, but I think there's
Great
a
match, by
lot
the way.
going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I might sneeze here, so I might stop. Oh, fun living in Georgia.
The
But
last time there was a pay-per-view with a no title defense was Survivor Series 2021.
really,
And that's when they were doing that champion versus champion stuff. So
oh, yeah. I think we got so much packed into this pay per view or premium live event, however you want to call it. But I mean, you got so much going on that sometimes it's not as necessary, I guess. Some of us old schoolers like that 30-day title defense rule, but they don't
yeah,
particularly do that anymore.
that doesn't really matter all that much to me.
Yeah.
Because as long as stories are progressing and like a champion's not just standing there with their title, with nothing to do, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and plus we have the two chamber matches are for the number one contendership for Cody Rhodes and for Rhea Ripley. So, the titles are in mind; they're just not being defended.
Right. And then you got the constant presence every week too. I think that kind of helps a lot now too.
So if you want, we can go ahead and get started and look into each match. So we're going to start off with a bang here. We'll start off with the ladies. We'll talk about the women's Elimination Chamber match with Naomi versus Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez versus Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. So, Wade, since you're our special guest, we'll start with you. And what do you think of this match, the competitors, and who do you see walking out facing Rhea Ripley?
I'm excited for this match for several reasons. One, I'm a giant mark for Alexa Bliss. So for her to have made her return last month and now in this Elimination Chamber match, got to go with my girl on that one. Plus, I'm excited because sometime within this next week, I should be getting the brand new T-shirt that she has because I ordered it the day it went up on sale.
Oh, yay.
So, hopefully it arrives before the pay-per-view so I could wear it, so I could cheer her on. But, I'm looking forward to this match because the dynamic has certainly changed, especially after last night, considering that Liv Morgan now is one half of the women's tag team champions, and she's in this. And you've got Naomi and Bianca, who just lost the titles last night. They're in this. We got the whole factor of what happened to Jade. Are we going to get continuation of that? Is that going to be injected sometime into this match? Who knows? Bayley could walk away in this match. I think she's the dark horse in this one. I don't think there's going to be a lot of eyes on her, to be honest. She could very well walk away with this one. We could see Bayley and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. That would be a hell of a match. And then Roxanne Perez coming in from NXT. She's got a bright future ahead of her. I don't know. Alexa Bliss is like my is my number one, so I gotta go with my girl.
That's understandable. While you were talking, I was sitting here thinking about these ladies, and Naomi and Bianca are. I don't see either one of those ladies winning because they just did lose, and the Jade thing could come to a head at this point. Or we could wait. I thought it was going to come to a head last night, and it didn't. So, who knows what they're thinking as far as that's concerned. You also have Liv Morgan, who's kind of intertwined within that. And plus, she's a tag team champion now, too. Roxanne Perez and Bayley have been facing each other lately. I could maybe see them maybe having their own match at WrestleMania. That would be really cool. And then you have Alexa Bliss, who's just sitting there with nothing to do. And I don't know, have we had Alexa Bliss versus Rhea Ripley yet?
I don't know.
I don't quite recall.
Well, as we get Alora, as you give us what your thoughts on this match are, I'm gonna look that up and see if we've had that match yet.
Sorry about a minute ago. My nose just decided to start to run.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I had to hop off for a second and take care of that. But I agree with you, Wade. Bailey's going to be the dark horse in this match. I think she's got things going on with Roxanne Perez. They could possibly make WrestleMania because they've been back and forth with each other on, NXT and Raw and even into pay-per-views. And then you got the whole Naomi, Bianca, Jade, and then you got Liv Morgan, then you got Alexa Bliss. And I feel like everybody's got something going on but Alexa Bliss. So I think it could create a exciting and interesting scenario, especially because we are getting little sneak peeks at Alexa being a part of Wyatt 6. I think it's inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's when. We could very well see that sooner rather than later.
I don't think they faced each other one-on-one.
Okay. I think that would be a good sell in the WrestleMania.
Yeah, and they both got this Rhea's not dark, but she kind of is, so it would, I don't know, creepy versus creepy, kind of.
They're both into the dark side.
Yes.
Gothic versus supernatural.
There we go. That's it.
Yeah. I think it would be I think Alexa Bliss could be the winner, and I think that would be really exciting going into WrestleMania. I'm down for it. I would be sold on that.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was a possibility until Wade comes in here giving us new ideas.
And that's a one-on-one we've never seen before, which is something that Triple H right now is real high on giving everybody.
Right. Yeah. I've said it, again and again. It's like since he's taken over, we basically have to rewire our brains because we're so used to predictableness and the same old thing for so long. And now Triple H is in the fold. You kind of have to retrain yourself, and you're actually surprised now, and you're like, dang, I didn't see that coming.
I pick up a lot of 96, 97 WWF vibes from Triple H a lot. Like right on the cusp of the Attitude Era where you get a lot of fresh matches. The gimmicks are a lot better. The in-ring wrestling is a lot better. But as far as booking, like put this guy against this guy or this girl against this girl, well, not so much in the 90s, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just throwing stuff on the wall, see what sticks. That's Triple H's thing right there.
Right. Yeah, I could definitely see the resemblance, and WWE 96 was so good. 97 too. I don't think that era is talked about enough. I know it's like the new generation era or whatever, and but there was so much good stuff then, and so I like your take on that.
It doesn't really matter if she's on the SmackDown roster because if she wins the Elimination Chamber, then she would face Rhea Ripley. I mean, they're not really stuck on rosters anymore. I mean, Nia Jax has been bouncing back and forth. Bianca Belair and Naomi's been bouncing back and forth, and several other people have been doing the same thing.
Right. And plus, if she wins the title, she could show up on the Raw after WrestleMania, and she's then part of the Raw roster because I'm pretty sure not long after that they're going to be doing the draft, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of times they're just interchanging the superstars where they're needed, not so much it's their final spot or whatever. It's just, I guess it's how the storyline is going and what it needs, I guess. That would be what I think. So and plus, like with whole Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, their business is far from over. So I think they just said, all right, we're just gonna make this work, and sometimes they still do WWE things. So
Yep. I don't know if Alexa is supposed to join the Wyatt family again, or if she's doing her own thing. I haven't.
her promo about a week or two ago, there was little hints that she'll probably be with the Wyatt Six. Little hints. So are they going to play a part in the road to WrestleMania? We don't know yet.
Interesting, because they have not been on the shows.
I know. They had unceremonious move to SmackDown, and they haven't really been seen much.
Right.
If they have, I don't really know. So
I bet they're probably hoping that Alexa Bliss gets put with the group, because then it'll probably make them relevant again.
yeah.
Poor things.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things that started off so hot, and then it was just like, okay, they got put on the back burner because other stuff was going on or whatnot. But I really liked the stuff they did with Final Testament, and then half of them got released. We forgot to talk about that earlier. That kind of irritated me. I was like,
yeah, AOP and Paul Ellering got released too.
yeah. Christine, you didn't miss much. We're just starting to talk about the Elimination Chamber, so you're right on time.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we see Jade Cargill coming in this, showing up in this match in some capacity, or are they going to hold off a little bit longer? Because the suspense is killing me at this point. I'm ready to find out who it is.
I know, because I was waiting last night. I stayed up to watch that tag team match. Great match, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it, because it was fantastic. But I was expecting her to show up either at the end of the match, or after it was over, or right at the end of the match, and she didn't. Bianca Belair and Naomi lost those titles all by themselves. So at this point, who knows? I mean, I would expect her to, but they've been marching to the beat of their own drum. They don't do things in the way that we're trained to think that they're going to do things, like you said. So who knows at this point? But, time is ticking. So if they want to do Jade Cargill versus Naomi at WrestleMania, like Jeffrey was saying, we're going to need some, she's going to need to come back soon so we can get that ball rolling.
The bigger sale to me, though, is Jade and Bianca. So that's the one thing I've kind of noticed on TikTok over the last day or so. What if it was the both of them? But who would join up with Jade? I think both of them. I think the both of them could really use a heel turn. I'm not saying that Naomi and Jade at WrestleMania wouldn't be a good idea. I think it would. I think it'll constitute for that for sure. But you're talking about WrestleMania, and the first person that comes to mind, or the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to Jade Cargill, is Bianca Belair, because of their athleticism, similar build. I'm not saying that Naomi can't go toe-to-toe with her, because I know she certainly can, but I think Bianca and Jade are one of those. They're like the quote-unquote dream match that everybody wants to see. We'll see what they do.
You brought up a good point about what if it was both of them for the heel turn, right? Bianca and Naomi. Mm-hmm. They did it to Jade. You bring somebody in to team up with Jade. You have a tag team match at WrestleMania. Made me think, recently I saw there was an interview somebody did with Jacqueline, who said that she has one good more match left in her. So what if you bring her in to team up with Jade?
That would be a great idea. I mean, they're doing it with Trish Stratus right now, so why not, Or if they chose to use somebody else that's fine too, you know. But yeah, it's one of the two, and if it's both, I'll be happy with that too. So, but who would be on Jade's side, I have no idea, but I do love the idea of Jacqueline. Jacqueline is one of my all-time favorites.
That's an interesting idea. I mean, they had pushed in the past so much of putting it in your mind. Maybe it was Bianca. Maybe it was Bianca. They have never put it in your mind. Maybe it was Naomi. So that's why I was thinking it was Naomi over Bianca, because everybody's kind of expecting it to be Bianca. So that's why my brain went there first. But if it was both of them, and Jade decided to bring somebody back or in with her before she comes back to face off with those two, that would be okay too. I mean, just because I didn't think of it doesn't mean it's not a good idea. So I would be all for that. That would be cool.
And if for some reason we don't have like somebody like Jacqueline come in with Jade, who would be the best person to team with Jade at WrestleMania? The one person that comes to mind is Lash Legend. I don't see that happening though, because she's teaming with Jakara. But I feel like Lash is somebody that could go toe to toe athletically with all of them, either or.
Unless they absolutely want to do like a black women's WrestleMania match. If that's not the case, then Jordynne Grace would be a good pick.
Okay.
Unless they're trying to do that, then obviously it'd be somebody else. But
either way, I think it'll be great, especially if it results in a tag match, or even if it's a singles match. But if they don't do it at Elimination Chamber, it's more than likely going to happen on Raw. And I'll make a point too. I wasn't surprised they lost the tag titles last night. I think the tag titles needed to be out of the way for the storyline to progress. And that's another reason as to why I think maybe it could be to both of them, because, they can focus on that, versus if it was just one, it would create like some kind of awkward interaction because they're tag team champions. So
wait, I don't remember which one took the pin last night. Was it Naomi or it was Naomi?
Took the pin.
Okay.
Yeah, she was up at the top rope, got tripped up, and then got pinned. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that threw out what my next thought. So. Well, if it was Bianca, because beforehand, when Jade and her were still teaming, it looked like Bianca always needed Jade's help in order to retain. She couldn't quite do it herself. So I was thinking that if Bianca was the one who took the pin, then Naomi could have flipped on her, flipped out on her and been like, "Oh, you lost us the titles," and kind of almost showed us that it was her a little bit by accident. But that didn't happen, so never mind.
Right. I was thinking of one other person. If we're gonna do the tag team match at WrestleMania, somebody that could team up with Jade, and we haven't seen this person in quite some time, and I think it would be a great comeback, and it would shock everybody, and that would be the man Becky Lynch.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna be funny and say, "Hey, how about it was the man?"
Right. I think it would be cool, if they did something like that, it'd be smart, because you're putting somebody very skilled, someone seasoned with Jade in the match.
Right.
And it's a big return. You got eyeballs on it like crazy, and
nobody would see it coming.
No, not at all.
That's interesting. Okay. This is fun. I can't wait till Saturday.
That's That's what I'm saying. There could be so many different things, and we're now starting to kind of, our brains are starting to, do some thinking here, and
What time on Saturdays does the pay-per-view start this time?
7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, 4 p.m. my time. I hope I'm not going to miss it. I'm supposed to be on duty this Saturday helping out with the RA stuff on campus, and I think we get off at 4 on the dot, so I don't want to miss anything.
Well, never mind, it's Peacock. You can't go back. I was about to say, well, maybe you can just start it when you get off, but I forget that it's Peacock, and they don't let you do that if it's live, and you have to watch it.
Right.
But I think a lot of us
I can't wait till they start having the pay-per-views on Netflix. That'd be great.
I'm sure it's coming at some point.
Jeffrey makes a good point. I don't know if they're going to do a draft this soon because the trade window was just open, so wasn't that in place of the draft? I forgot about that. We were I guess that's what I meant by that, but I just didn't think about it.
Was the trade window open when Alexa came back?
No. She came back at the Rumble.
So she missed it.
Mm-hmm. Wyatt Six are like the 8. Do what now? Sorry, Wade.
I was going to say there's always an exception to the rule. If she came back after the window, then there's a loophole.
Yeah, and they have shown at times too where Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis will make a trade just midway through the year for no reason. They'll just be like, okay, I traded this person for that person, the end. And everybody's like, okay. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter.
All right. Jeffrey says Wyatt Six are like AEW's Death Riders because Wyatt Six looks like they've lost their direction. I agree with that because as much as I love Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley and Claudio, I do not like them as the Death Riders. They're like Blackpool Combat Club on crack or something. And let's see. Okay. He also says we have 6 weeks until WrestleMania 41, so we have plenty of time.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to B-Fab? That was with the Street Profits. She's in the singles competition now, Jeffrey. She was doing something there for a while, or she's still doing it with Michin, with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven last I knew. I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but as a couple weeks ago they were.
She shouldn't be in there with Jade Cargill anyway.
No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, B-Fab's improving, but she's definitely not ready for a position like that. And that's no discredit to her. It's just she's not as seasoned as some of the others are.
Right. All right.
Okay, Jeffrey says don't watch that Sunday. I was going through the comments for you.
Oh, no problem. Okay. Well, we'll move along, and I want to get Wade's take on this. Because...
Well, I was going to say, who do we pick as the winner? Do we go with I think I'm going to go with Alexa on this one.
Yeah, I think Wade said Alexa, and I said Alexa, and he said maybe Bailey too.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be anyone involved in the tag team championships in the past week.
No.
No.
And plus, I'd probably be a little irritated that Liv would face Rhea at WrestleMania again.
Because we've gotten that match like 4 times.
They just finished that off, the whole year's worth of her chasing for the title and all that. Yeah, no, you're busy with the tag team titles. Go over there. Thank you.
Right.
Take Dirty Dom with you.
Exactly. Well, The Rock went down to NOLA looking for Cody's soul to steal. He's the Shadow Man now. He's got friends on the other side. And now Cody is wondering where he's going to keep his adrenaline now if The Rock has a soul. I've got him all day. Should I keep going? No. That was a weird promo. I didn't quite understand. Well, I know where they're going. They're doing like this corporate thing, I guess. But it was just, I don't know. Did The Rock lose focus and say weird stuff? I don't know. But Cody answers The Rock.
Type of thing in years, so there's that. You know they love that stuff.
So Wade, what do you think of all of this going on?
Yeah, the soul comment was that was out of left field for sure. That changed the dynamic of everything, because we're not focused on necessarily, oh, The Rock versus Cody, that'd be kind of cool. We're focused on, what does he mean by take his soul? Like, that's the whole thing, is like what he said as to what he probably meant. It's just so weird, but it's so on brand with The Rock nowadays, because The Rock is like, he comes up with the craziest shit, but it gets people talking.
You're right.
Yeah. Last year when he started doing the final boss thing, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, what the hell is this dude, the final boss? But like, a year later, and it's like, yeah, that's him. That's the final boss, and it makes sense now. In a year from now, we'll probably be like, oh yeah, he took Cody's soul, like Shang Tsung over here, But yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see where this is going, and again, like a lot of other things that are going on in the WWE, like this to me screams like late '90s kind of stuff. This screams Vince Russo when Vince Russo was on top of his game kind of stuff. Where every week there's something a little strange going on, talking about strange and souls, something strange. Who you going to call? Ghostbusters? I don't know. But what we're going to have to do is keep paying attention to this, see where it's going. There's going to be a big payoff. I know it's going to be huge. John Cena might get involved in this. Got that feeling John Cena might get involved with this thing, but we'll see. If John Cena is not doing anything with Joe Hendry, he will be in this storyline.
That's fair. I haven't seen it. I was going to look at it earlier, but it said it was 28 minutes long, and I'm like, okay, Dwayne, I love you, but I don't think I want to listen to that for 30 minutes. So,
well, half of that was him telling New Orleans that they're getting WrestleMania. So,
okay,
for
which
the
is
third
the
time,
third time, 12 years,
past,
which is
yes.
25% of the last 12 years has been New Orleans.
No, that is bad because I had fun at WrestleMania 30 just when you came in, and then some other things that like happened outside of wrestling, try not to let it bother my experience. But yeah, it was, other than that, it was awesome.
WrestleMania 30 was good, except for trying to get to your seat at the very beginning when it was the jam in the hallways.
I'm telling you, I think I got claustrophobic after that because it was bad.
Oh, yeah. I had a buddy of mine who was pushing me down the hallway, and we had everybody surrounding me, and I kept looking up like I was in New York City, like all these people that were towers, and I was like, come on, guys.
What was I? Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. I was having horrible memories there for a second. Well, one other thing, speaking of New Orleans, I remember when The Rock came out after Stone Cold, they had the Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock promo there, and that's something you'll never see again. And I just had this feeling The Rock was going to come out. So I looked at the dude next to me, and I was like, look, if The Rock comes out, just please forgive me, whatever I do. And he came out, I grabbed the guy's arm, screamed, and fell to the floor. He's probably like, okay, this girl's not right.
Yeah, something
And
similar happened. I was at the 2013 Royal Rumble, and there was a girl next to me. She was drunk as hell, and she was just clamoring over Sheamus the whole night. And I was like, "Just
oh
shut
god,
up, lady."
Well,
there was one time at Raw that it was in Atlanta, and somebody was trying to get at Sheamus, and everybody thought it was me, and it wasn't. I don't know who it was. It wasn't me. Go ahead, Marie. I'm sorry.
that's okay. Well, when I go to wrestling shows and I'm screaming and I'm losing my mind and going absolutely bonkers, that is totally 100% sober. That is not someone intoxicated. So
Right.
I can't imagine.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm sure you're still like, there's clarity going on too. It's not obscene, stuff you're trying to do like
Oh no,
like
no,
this
and I
this
don't
girl at the
scream
Royal
during
Rumble was doing.
promos or anything like that either. So
Yeah. No, at the Royal Rumble, I seriously, the girl that was next to me, she was so drunk, like she was like wanting to like strip down and like climb the
Oh,
rail
no.
and get over there to him. And I'm just like, come on, it's just you gotta leave that stuff alone. There's kids around.
right.
And
Yeah.
you got some people too, they'll scream out stupid stuff, and you're just like, really, you're ruining it for everybody, and but
Yeah.
anyways, I saw that he had this promo and everything. I'm like, oh god, stealing his soul. What, you trying to be Taker?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
your
too.
soul.
What did The
And,
Undertaker do to The Rock at WrestleMania last year? What happened
maybe
there?
that's what it was. It hasn't left the Rock's mind that the Undertaker attacked me at WrestleMania. And-
Did like a Harry Potter thing happen by accident where he accidentally gave him a little bit of his powers? I mean,
Oh no. When you had posted it, Marie, when I first saw it, I'm crazy. I was like, well, I don't. You were like, you said something. I was like, well, I don't know, but The Rock can have my soul.
oh gosh.
But yeah, a lot of people were left confused, and it's going to be one of those things that it might pop up ever so often, maybe.
Yeah. Rock equals New Age Taker. We'll have to see what happens. And we'll talk a little bit more.
I did like the Seth Rollins promo last night after Cody was trying to talk about what happened Friday, and
Yeah.
Seth did make some very good points, very valid points. So I'm with Wade. A lot of things could happen out of this.
Yeah,
Rock
they
being
could
the
go
shit stir,
We'll
And
have
The
to.
Rock did say that he'll see Cody at the Chamber.
Yep. Yep. He's expecting an answer. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that, I'm sure, when we get to the men's elimination chamber match. But for right now, we're going to talk about another thing that's very personal. I was surprised that, well, no, they're going to be in Canada. Never mind. An unsanctioned match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is interesting. I don't exactly know where this is going to go. I'm pretty sure they're going to beat the Balulu out of each other. And it's going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. I'm going to say Kevin Owens probably wins this.
I really liked the interview they did with Sammy last night on Raw. I did catch that. We're seeing a different side of Sammy. He, this is deeply personal, and he was saying, I don't know what I was going there to do, but whatever I was going to do wasn't going to be good. You could tell he was really wrestling with his emotions, his thoughts in terms of whenever it comes to KO. And so I think we already know they're going to have amazing match. I mean, they always do. They always produce top of the line. I mean, top of the line moments, matches. You name it. I mean, then it goes all the way back to NXT, even back to their independent days. So this is something you could just throw in there for no reason, and people are going to love it. It's just that good. And with it being unsanctioned, basically, do we see Randy Orton come back to avenge his attack on KO? That's the first thing I thought about. Because if we're not getting Randy and Cody at WrestleMania, then we might see Randy and KO at WrestleMania.
Wade, what do you think?
I'm surprised a match like this is happening outside of WrestleMania. Like, you would think this would be a WrestleMania match between these two guys.
Yeah.
On the biggest stage, finally give them their one-on-one like that, and a high stakes match nonetheless too. I think it's very interesting too. If you think 30 days ago, you look at Kevin Owens, you look at Sami Zayn, and they kind of got a lot of the comedic things going on. 30 days later, like, this isn't a program, this is a feud, and they've had a roller coaster ride their whole careers, both of them, and that's a testament right there of like how strong a performer that both of these guys are. Is that they're like, it's like a light switch. You can do the comedy thing, you can be obnoxious, you could be cartoonish, outlandish, and then boom, you're serious. And both guys did that at the flip of a switch. Yeah. And
they're very versatile.
Very, very much, very much. And when you see characters like that and they instantly become so serious and they're focused on each other, it's a whole new level of intensity right there. It's more than just two guys that just, bicker once in a while. These guys hate each other. They can be friends. They were friends years ago and they won the tag titles at WrestleMania. But there's underlying tension that has come out from the roots. And I think this is going to be the last time that we're going to see these guys kind of have a program and a feud with each other for a very, very long time. We've seen it plenty of times on the indies. We've seen it in the WWE. And now that they're getting a lot older, this is going to be it. And they're going to leave it all on the mat for us on the Elimination Chamber. I don't know who's going to win this thing. It's up in the air for me.
I think Sammy could very well win if Randy Orton comes back and interferes in some fashion. That's just my guess. But if KO wins too, I'm all right with that as well.
Yeah.
And KO and Cody, boy, they beat the snot out of each other at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Even Mina agrees.
I was about to say, I thought I heard a kitty cat.
Yeah, our mascot, Mina. She finally showed up. She was taking a nap.
She had to wake up for Randy Orton. She heard Randy Orton, so.
Yeah.
She's got predictions, and she wants to tell them right meow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, we'll be sitting here talking. And she just throws her 2 cents in whenever she feels like it. There she is right there. I don't have to grab her.
She's saying that Ernest the Cat Miller is coming in this Sunday or Saturday at the pay-per-view. That's what she's saying. Somebody call your mama.
Jeffrey says after that ladder match at Royal Rumble, Kevin Owens needs to win this match.
Yeah, that's a very good point because psychotic KO. We don't need him getting any more psychotic.
Christine says that the Kevin Owens thing is old. It needs to end. I like the Kevin Owens thing.
I sent y'all both the post last night about the wrestling cards, and KO signed it and then put something like the bloodline's not their real family or something. I was like, we don't deserve KO because it was so funny.
Right.
Jeffrey thinks that Randy's going to come out and attack both of them.
That'd be all right with me.
Why would he attack Sammy? It's Randy. He doesn't need a reason, does he?
He doesn't
The
need a
voices in
reason.
his head told him to.
Exactly.
Well, it's going to be a good match. I'm going to say that Kevin's probably going to win. That's my prediction.
And it could very well be a no contest, especially if Randy attacked both of them. Say if that happens.
Well, it's unsanctioned, so the only way for it to end is for a tap out or a pin.
Or maybe they'll go into a limo and it blows up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We don't want to
Hopefully
do that
not.
again. No, that's not a good idea. Next up, we have a tag team match. This is interesting. We have Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I'm guessing that Charlotte Flair is probably going to watch from commentary or something, is my guess, too. Tell us how you really feel about Charlotte, Alora.
Right. Yeah.
I think the T-shirt speaks for it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the idea that Trish is getting involved. Well, I kind of should have known, being it was in Toronto, that they were going to have Trish involved in some way, somehow. But I do like the fact that she is teaming with Tiffany Stratton. She's somebody that's been compared to Trish. And plus, you know, Tiffany had a lot going on with Nia and Candice. And so for this to make the card, I'm actually quite pleased with it. More so for Candice LeRae more than anything, because she's really been like that power player to me. Like, you don't always see her, but she's pulling a lot of leg work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll probably see this feud with Tiffany and Nia culminate, maybe, but yeah, it could very well culminate, because Nia did get her rematch, to which she lost. So Charlotte will probably interfere, just because, you know, Charlotte is Charlotte. So
I don't think Charlotte's going to interfere, but I think she's going to be watching.
I see Trish and Tiffy winning. I mean, Trish is going to win in her hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So, Wade, what's your thoughts?
I agree with what you had to say about the importance of Candice LeRae being involved in this. She's a great worker. I've been a fan of Candice's work for 21 years now. She trained just literally down the road from where I'm sitting right now, downtown San Bernardino, with Jesse Hernandez. And I've seen her career from the very beginning, working the region out here in SoCal, PWG, working her way up to the appearances that she had in Impact Wrestling, her NXT days up to right now. Like, hard-working girl that has more experience than probably 80% of the women on the roster right now. Mm-hmm. And not a lot of people know that. And she is still very, very youthful. Mm-hmm. She's got a lot of days ahead of her. And I think, given the right opportunity, I think she could be a major player in the company. I have a bias because of Nia Jax. I just don't like her no matter what. It's personal too. I just don't like the woman. So it's a double-edged sword, because it's like, all right, cool, Candice is getting TV time, but it's fucking with Nia Jax. Why?
We're laughing because our podcast friend Ron, he loathes Nia Jax.
Right. It's a general consensus. There's a lot of people online that don't like Nia Jax, mm-hmm. and it's more than just like, oh, is she doing a good job as a heel kind of heat? No, she got the Waltman heat. I just don't want to see her. Tiffany Stratton, oh, what a talent that is. And she has been on the rise very quickly too. I would compare her career right now, and like the speed that she's rising to the top is almost like Kurt Angle when he first came in. Like, she's a natural. She gets it from the character, the promos, the in-ring work, adjusting to who she's with in the ring, whether it's a singles match, a tag match, or anything like that. Like, she can adapt. She's a chameleon in the ring. That's a utility player right there. And teaming her up with Trish Stratus, that is genius. That is absolute genius work right there. I think it's going to be a good tag team match. My bias with Nia Jax set aside, Nia Jax knows how to work in the ring. I'm going to give her that. I've never been in the ring before, so I don't like to critique people's in-ring work, but I know that I can critique their characters, their promos, public speaking. I can critique the shit out of that. Nia Jax, get the hell out of here. But as far as in the ring goes, this will be a very good match, though, because all four girls know how to go. They know how to tell a story. They can go. There's history in this match, and you got the Charlotte dynamic, like y'all mentioned before, too. So there's a wild card. I think it's going to be a good match. But I wanted to share this with y'all. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys this, but this is from 2012. This is a picture of Candice LeRae and I backstage at the Empire Wrestling Federation.
Oh,
I presented
wow.
to her a pencil drawing that I framed and gave to her.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
That was, I think that night she had teamed up with Davina Rose, who we all know now is Bailey, taking on Christina Von Eerie and Mischief that night in a tag team match. I got to call that match.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I think it was about Candace, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We actually had some company, and I was just he was just seeing if I was done. Yeah, I was like, no, we'll wrap it up. Don't worry. He'll be here a while, so I'm not going to rush or anything.
Cool.
Yeah, this match will be fun. Nia Jax isn't my favorite either. And most of the time, I don't critique people's in-ring work either because I've never been in the ring. You know, that's what I usually say. I've never been in the ring, so I don't like to critique people's in-ring work. But every once in a while, when I notice something, I'm like, okay, that was kind of bad. She's gotten better at this, but there for a while when she was first doing that she was doing the Yokozuna splash where she falls on them.
Bonsai,
She was putting the bonsai drop. She was putting her entire weight onto them. And there was one time I thought she killed Lila Valkyria because she came down a little too forcefully. But she's been doing a lot better about that. She's been, putting the majority of the weight on her knees instead of on the back end of her.
And that's not wise considering her history with her knees. Both of them, too, right?
Yeah, but it's either she needs to figure something out where she doesn't put her full weight on the person or her knees. So,
right.
But other than that, she's been improving a whole lot. Her promos are still a little too. Her promos and her persona does not match. Like, she's trying to be like this monster girl, but she sounds like a whiny little girl. You know what I mean? They don't match. Yeah. So there's a disconnect between that. So
and that's the way it was with her theme music before her return too. She had that fast-paced, upbeat pop song, and she's supposed to be this beast, and she just wasn't.
Right. But, the match is going to be fun. I'm excited for everybody in the match. I'm excited to get to see Trish again. It's always a pleasure to get to have her on TV.
Trish is still in excellent shape, too.
Yeah, she was great in the Royal Rumble. She's been great in everything that she's been in so far. And I think that they're going to give everybody a happy ending to this, and it's going to be Trish and Tiffany.
I can agree with that.
All right, let's see. Christine does not like Tiffy time. But it's not for no one's for everybody. So
She's
I don't think
meaning
Christine
now.
likes anybody in this match except for Trish. It's funny.
I finally got meaning to eat. Yeet.
Jeffrey says I've liked Tiffany since she was in WoW.
Yes, now you got to show your butt. Are you happy now? Yeah. She does that every time. Every time. And she actually has convinced some people that I torture her. No, she does this every time.
Well, it is time for the main event, and we have the men's Elimination Chamber match with Drew McIntyre versus John Cena versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul versus Damian Priest.
This is going to be interesting.
Alora, we're going to start with you.
Oh, sorry.
We'll put you on the spot. We're going to start with you.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Right?
Wow.
That's why we're not starting with me.
I'm looking and gathering my thoughts here. I was watching Drew on social media earlier. He was talking about the Elimination Chamber. Gosh. I would love to see Drew win, but I don't think it's going to happen. I just love this Savage Drew. I love it. It's my favorite version of the Drew. The savagery is amazing. Do we see CM Punk win the Chamber? Because there's been a lot of talk, especially after the Rumble with Seth and Roman and Punk. Do we get some kind of ending where there's two winners or something, triple threat match? But with that being said, we don't know when Roman's going to show back up either. Could he be a factor? I don't know. Let's see. There's John Cena. Boo John Cena. Logan Paul, we can go ahead and say to that. He's going to do good, though, because Logan Paul is one of those. He's been extremely impressive for someone that shouldn't even be in it. He's actually good at it, and he knows how to get under your skin. So I'll give him that. And then we have Priesty. Me and Marie love Priesty.
We do love Priesty.
Even Mina loves Priesty. Oh, man. I think I'm going to go with CM Punk on this one because he's always wanted the main event in WrestleMania. And I think, him and Cody do have a little bit of history. And, not too much, but a little bit enough to garner interest. And I do think we will get Roman and Seth at WrestleMania. I do think that. So where everybody falls, I'm not sure, but it'll be a good win for CM Punk because he had been injury prone and been having a little bit of a struggle here and there. Maybe this is his crowning moment and he'll achieve that dream of his finally. So I'm gonna go with CM Punk.
Interesting. Yeah, there's so many ways because with this Rock and Cody thing, you have to kind of have that in the back of your mind when you're trying to look at what our WrestleMania main event is going to be. And you're like, okay, well, it could be Drew McIntyre. You're basically, my prediction is that Cody is going to turn down The Rock, right? That's my prediction. They could throw that out the window and Cody could turn heel. But I'm going to say that Cody's probably going to turn down The Rock. Well, who is going to take up on The Rock's offer then? So, Drew McIntyre is an obvious choice because he's already bad.
I love that, yeah.
He could be that person. CM Punk is there. And we could play around with CM Punk. The Rock and Roman have a connection. Paul Heyman owes CM Punk a favor already. we could have that play into.
Mm-hmm. And don't
I
forget
don't
with
think
Paul
it's going to
Heyman
be
about
Seth.
them 2 cell phones too.
Right. There's Seth Rollins. He's already gone down this path. I don't know if he would again, especially after what happened on Monday night. Logan Paul and Damian Priest are there to fill spots, and that's okay, and they'll make the match fun. They're not winning. Then we're down to John Cena.
Boo, John Cena.
Oh my goodness, Alora, though, think about it. Everybody has been craving for this John Cena heel turn for like 15, 20 years by this point.
Well, if he goes back to Dr. Thugonomics, it'd be okay. Otherwise, I'm like, boo, John Cena.
No, what if John Cena decides to finally give in? Because he's been fighting the system since he became a main eventer, right?
Most of his career. Yeah.
Right. He's been doing the me versus
Never
the
give
corporate.
up.
Right. But the last time we heard from John Cena was at the end of the Royal Rumble, and he said that he doesn't care about earning his spot anymore. He's going to do what's best for business.
Mm. And The Rock is kind of a businessman now with the whole TKO thing, so...
Yeah, and he mentioned that too. So, Wade, I threw everything out there. What do you think?
I'm gonna throw a curveball out there for y'all.
Oh no!
Boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Cody declines The Rock's offer, and The Rock says, "If you aren't gonna do business with me and give me what I want, then I'm gonna take somebody out of the Elimination Chamber match and I'm gonna put you in it tonight." And I think The Rock is gonna take John Cena out of it, put Cody in there, put the title on the line, and Cody's just gonna get his ass kicked like John Cena did that one year in the Rumble or in the Chamber. He's just gonna just get annihilated. John Cena now has beef with The Rock, and that's when you have the John Cena heel turn, because John Cena is gonna make it look like we're gonna have John Cena versus The Rock, or something like that, and then at the very final hour, John Cena is gonna say, "You know what? If you can't beat him, join him."
That would actually make sense too, for the fact that if The Rock pulled John Cena out, he can just say, "Don't worry about it. You'll face the winner of this match."
Yeah, they could do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he can,
imagine.
he can simply say John Cena didn't qualify for the Elimination Chamber match, so I'm pulling him out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Any way you slice it, you pull John Cena out of that match, you're going to piss off the fans, and you're going to give The Rock a lot of heat.
I could see it happening.
That's interesting.
I think CM Punk's going to win this, though.
I'm sitting here thinking, all right, how is this going to come into play? I do like all these ideas being thrown out.
No, the way I break it down, process of elimination, Damian Priest at this given time does not fit anywhere in the title picture. Mm-hmm. He's going to have something else at WrestleMania. Logan Paul's in this match because you need a bump guy. He's your bump guy. Seth Rollins, he's going to have something else. Drew McIntyre could be the winner of this, but I think we've seen enough of Drew in this title picture over the course of this last year. I think he needs to kind of be put to the side a little bit. Give us some time to miss him so we can appreciate him again. And then there's the John Cena thing. If John Cena wins and goes to WrestleMania, cool, right on. We're going to get a good performance. I'm not going to be mad at that. CM Punk deserves it. Mm-hmm. I think he finally deserves to get a headline main event marquee moment at WrestleMania. And the time is now, no pun intended.
Yeah, Punk made a comment a while back. He's like, "Look, I'm old, I'm tired, I'm 46 years old, my body isn't what it used to be."
Right.
And so I feel like if they're going to give CM Punk that WrestleMania main event that he wants, I think I'm like you, Wade. The time is now. Literally, it is.
I guess it just depends on how everything falls
Yeah.
and comes together. Because on one hand, if they went with someone else to face Cody, and there's been a lot of speculation, and this is what I gathered from the Rumble too, but they could be going in a different direction. You know, to me, it looked like it was going to be Roman versus Seth versus CM Punk at Mania. If you built that story good enough and well enough, you not necessarily needed the title for that, and it could still main event WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And CM Punk would still get his marquee match, so it doesn't necessarily have to be for a title. But I guess it's just the way everything is going to work. And what's going to happen, because The Rock just kind of came in there and blew stuff up. And now we have no idea what's going on.
Shit stir Dwayne.
Right. And again, like last year, not only did he do that, but now Roman takes a back seat to a lot of things like he did last year.
We got Christine saying it now too. I like Priesty.
Yeah, he deserves to be
yeah,
in
it's
this
just
match. He's just not gonna win.
Huh?
I said he deserves to be in this match. He's just not gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, Priesty got his WrestleMania moment last year. Unfortunately at the expense of Drew McIntyre, but he did. How funny that those three are in the Elimination Chamber, and that
right.
like Punk and McIntyre played a role in Damian Priest winning, because it was Seth and McIntyre. McIntyre won, then Punk aggravated him, and Damian Priest came in and cashed in. Look at there.
That's continuity, though. That shows that everybody that has been writing this last year has been on the same page, because half of this match are guys that had a major part of the world title scene last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, McIntyre and Punk are going to rehash things there for a little while.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, they should be the two to start it off.
Yeah, I agree. Logan Paul be that one that gets his ass kicked, and I'm here for it.
I liked last year when he was celebrating, and they got the RKO out of nowhere.
That was great. I love it.
Yeah, I took a animated GIF of that, and it went viral because I put the caption on it saying, "Right when you think that the semester is going well, here comes midterms."
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yep, been there too. Jeffrey makes a great point. Finally, you hear that when we cannot say 100% this person's going to win the match. Oh, absolutely. We talked about that a few weeks back, that we really, like, you can't really pinpoint. It keeps you guessing, and that's what pro wrestling really is all about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Reminds me of the build to WrestleMania 15, where you were playing hot potato with the title between The Rock and Mankind, and then you had... you know, Stone Cold thrown in the mix, and then you bring in the Big Show, and it's like, all right, what are we doing? And we didn't know until 2 weeks before WrestleMania what everything looked like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it keeps you on your toes, which is good for me.
Well, I don't have a set winner. I don't know. It's either going to be Drew or John Cena or CM Punk. It's definitely not going to be Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, or Damian Priest, and that's my answer.
I'll tell you, here's the winner. The three of us on this show and everybody in the chat, we're all the winners.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining, nevertheless.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, that's the show. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we say goodnight to everybody?
Well, I was going to ask Wade, what's your thoughts on AEW right now? We asked Stanley that earlier.
AEW. You know, just to begin with, let me preface this before I get into that. I don't have a lot of time to watch a lot of wrestling nowadays like I did in the past when I was younger. So having said that, it's not necessarily a knock on AEW, but I don't watch AEW at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a no interest thing. It's just I definitely don't have time. If I were to have to choose a wrestling program, if I had to choose one to watch every single week, which is kind of what I have to do with my schedule, it's Monday Night Raw that gets my pick every week. I'll watch clips here and there for NXT or SmackDown. I'll see kind of what's going on with AEW, but I don't pay too much attention to it, so I can't really give my thoughts on what I think of AEW.
I understand that because I feel that way with a lot of content that's out there. Exact thing you say. We don't have the time that we do, but that we did then. A lot of right now, obviously, dealing with a vestibular syndrome, and I'm out of work for that, so I have plenty of time on my hands, and I've been watching what I can, and but I'm like you, if I can't watch it, it's not going to kill me. I'm that way with TNA a lot. NXT, I'll watch AEW and I'll watch WWE. But if there's something going on in another promotion where they're like, "Hey, you gotta check this out," yeah, send me the link. I'll check it out. New Japan's one of those. My nephew's a huge New Japan fan, and he'll send me stuff sometimes and whatnot. But yeah, I totally get that. If you have time, great. If not, I mean, with content availability and the amount of content that you can get now, it wasn't like it was back then either. So if we want to check it out 5 years down the road, more likely we can.
Right. Not only is it like there's a lot of wrestling programming out there, like there's a lot of shows, but like the shows are very long.
Yeah.
Raw is 2.5 hours to 3 hours, depending on what kind of content they got that week. Pay-per-views are anywhere between 3 and 5 hours. The typical wrestling show is 2 hours now. And back then, a 1 hour wrestling show with no commercial breaks was 40 minutes. So it was really easy to digest a lot of wrestling in a very short amount of time. But now, like if you want to watch everything and you cut out all the commercials, it's still a lot of time. It's almost like a 9-to-5 job.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When I was first starting like Ringscoops back in the day, I had a lot of enthusiasm and motivation to do that. It was easy to digest a lot of wrestling content. I was putting out like 3 to 4 shows, podcast, video shows a week. And I was very, very motivated to do that. I don't have the energy to do that anymore at my age. I'm the old man, the old geezer in the internet wrestling community. Kind of like in the tech business, once you hit 30, like you're the old man in the boardroom in the tech industry. And that's the way I feel in the IWC. But, and there's some people. I was having a conversation recently with a buddy of mine about this exact topic, and there's some people that I used to work with on another website, a very well-known website. I'm not going to name names, but this person, they're convinced that they are somebody. They still have the mindset that they think they're a celebrity, and they need to get over themselves. It's very easy in IWC to do that, to lose track of things too, to think that you are the business that you cover. And this person does that quite a bit. And I think back of like when I first came into where I am now, and like, yes, I cover wrestling still, but it's not my life like it was before. It didn't consume myself. And,
you have other like goals and things you'd like to do. So
exactly. And like 20 years ago, like I would put off a lot of things. Like we would have family get-togethers, and I'd be like, "Yeah, you guys go enjoy yourselves. I have a pay-per-view to watch because I have to do a podcast tonight." Nowadays, I'm like, if I don't cover it, I don't give a shit. To be honest, I'm in for the life thing, and I feel bad. I missed a lot of moments back then, but no, you're right. There's a lot more important things in life right now to cover. Like if I don't see a wrestling show, I don't see a wrestling show. No biggie. My biggest thing is taking care of my parents as they get older, and with my mom going through her cancer treatment, making sure that my dad has his time balanced between helping my mom out and then me going home to take a load off for him so he can rest and I can help out. I'm working on my thesis for my master's. I'm trying to build a foundation for the future. I have a long distance relationship that I'm going through, and that a relationship is difficult on its own, but you add 7,000 miles and a 15-hour time difference in there. It's not for the weak at heart. I'll tell you that.
Right.
It's been crazy. The last 2 to 3 weeks have been mentally exhausting, and it's not fair because it's something that's out of both of our control. So yeah, wrestling is like it's beyond the back burner at this point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. You know, here on Peaches and Power Bombs, there's some times where we don't have a show for a week or two because life just, comes on. And then there's some people who live on their podcasts, and I'm like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I've got a husband and I've got nephews to take, to spend time with and everything, sorry. But wrestling is here for us for an enjoyment, and it shouldn't make us feel bogged down. I will have to say that I'm a huge fan of Ricky Starks, so there will be times where I watch NXT because I love him so much. But other than that,
I will have to make some time to watch some.
Ricky
clips with him.
Saints now, but yeah, he was one of my favorites in AEW. Ethan Page is another one you could check out. I was telling you a while back, you were talking about nonverbal communication for your paper, and I mentioned Javon Evans with his mouth wired shut. That was something new that they've done that I know I've never seen before. So, it's definitely one of those things. If you have time, check it out. If not, it's okay too.
Yep.
I just thought of something because you brought up the paper that I just wrote about the nonverbal and wrestling. I don't know why I didn't think of this or why I didn't include it in my paper, but I didn't touch up on Sting. What the hell is wrong with me? That was a year and a half that Sting didn't speak. Wow. I could write a whole paper just on that.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot now.
Have to do
how do you write a
two.
paper about nonverbal communication and wrestling and not mention Sting? That reminds me
to
too.
The best of us.
About 10 years ago at the School of Hard Knocks, Jesse Hernandez down the road in San Bernardino here, he had a group of young men from the United Kingdom come visit and train with him. And there was a young man, he was a deaf man, and he did a spot during training that popped the entire building. He did the John Cena move. He did the scoop slam. He looked down and he turned his head, goes, "You can't hear me," and then did the 5-knuckle shuffle. Greatest thing I'd ever seen in training. It was absolute brilliant.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, guys, I think that's it. Wade, do you have anything else coming up that people want to have their eye on, or?
I wish that I could say, hey, I got this. I got a lot of things planned out. I have podcast formats that I've written this year, never got around to doing. The only thing I could say is just stay tuned, ringscoops.com. You never know when I drop another paper out there. I submitted the nonverbal communication in wrestling paper to the National Communication Association. Last year I submitted a paper about decolonizing professional wrestling. That was accepted, and I went to New Orleans to present that. Hopefully this paper gets accepted again. If so, then I can go and present at the NCA in Denver this coming November. That would be great.
Wow.
But yeah, working on the thesis as well about misogyny and sexual misconduct in pro wrestling. But yeah, I'm pretty sure between now and this summer, just for fun, I'll probably write another wrestling paper and put it out there, and I'll publish it on Ringscoops.
Well, that's fun. Everybody keep an eye on ringscoops.com if you want to check out Wade's amazing work, not just, talking about the day-to-day, but talking about real life real topics, things that affect everyone actually, and trying to better the world in which we live in. And so, thank you again for all of your hard work in that area. And like I said, sometimes we're here and sometimes we're not. So keep an eye on Peaches and Power Bombs, and we appreciate everybody's support in coming in and always watching the show and being such, um, just a happy little community that we have over here, and we appreciate you guys. I will be on tomorrow, so you'll see me for a third time this week on my weekly show with Ray All Day, where we talk about AEW Dynamite. So check us out tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 Eastern. Anything else? I think that's it, right, Laura?
That's going to do it again. I want to thank Wade for coming on and hanging out with us for a little bit. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I'll definitely be keeping in contact with you later on about the show and all that good stuff. So you can follow Wade on Ringscoops. I think you got a Twitch as well. Where can people find you on?
Twitch.tv/Ringscoops. If you just go to ringscoops.com, all the links are there for that. And I want to thank both of you ladies for having me on the show tonight. Always a pleasure to be on. Thank you so much.
All
no
right,
problem.
guys.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye. Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go. Good night, sweet peach. It's the end of the show. We hate to leave, but we really can't stay. So good night, sweet peach.